It's past time I talk about hell fortresses and the mechanics of rallying them. Now, it's actually somewhat complicated because a lot of it depends on who starts the rally, what they run, what heroes you have, and other things, and it can get pretty complicated. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with, I'm going to show you a report. And go to Mail, go to Hell Fortresses, and then you can click on one of the reports. And as you can see, this is called soloing because everyone else just sent one. I attacked a level 21 Hell Fortress. And you can see this is just an overview, total of troops everyone sent, how many wounded there were, how many kills of the enemy. Now, you'll notice that a Hell Fortress level 21 has 2,400 units. 50% is considered a victory, so as long as this is over 120, it's a win. Now, if you click the coordinates up here, that would take you to where the battle was, which for fortresses doesn't really matter because it disappears after you kill it. But when it comes, if you look at a battle report for a attack on another person's castle, then that could take you to their castle. This trash can thing is a trash can. That would delete it. The blue button here is to share the report. You can share it to the Alliance channel. If there was an event going on where there's an event chat, you could share it to that. They call it the Battle Division channel. Or for 500 diamonds, you can share it to the Kingdom channel. And then that bookmarks it, which supposedly it should now be on the bookmark page. Let's see, do they say how long things stay on the bookmark? Because I've had things disappear. It just mentions 7 days. So, I mean, bookmarking is supposed to save it, but I don't know that it actually does. Anyway. Then, the coordinates of where I was, and of course where they were. They do that because if the battle involved a resource spot, that might have a different coordinates up there. What my awards were for winning the battle. If you are the one of the people involved in the rally in the battle, then you can hit the compare button. And that would show you how your stats compare to, they call them enemy, even though you're only looking at your own people. I really don't understand that. But as you can see, this is one of the reasons why I run the rallies, because my boosts are a lot better than most people's. Anyway. And then there's this little yellow box. If you click on that, it brings up the details where you can see the total might lost. We were the attackers. Total units used. How many casualties, wounded. Now, one thing I want to point out is this number of wounded is not what turns up in the infirmaries. If you look up here, it says, in appreciation of your victory over Hell Fortress, Sarai revitalized most of your wounded and killed units. And so, out of my 9,036 casualties, 8,490 were revived, so I only had to heal the remaining, 600 or so? Now, there were no traps involved. And honestly, it's weird. I've had my traps get destroyed by other people, but I've never successfully destroyed someone else's traps. I am not sure how you do that. You might have to be a lot stronger than them. Then there's comparison, what the various people sent. in general. And then here you can see what was used in the way of troops and heroes. If the others had included heroes, you would be able to see that, and what the fortress had. And then if you click compare there, now here it gives you the enemy stuff. And the fortress apparently just has these 120% boost to those three things. Okay, so now, as you can see from this report, I only got 54%. Despite my attempts to try and get that higher, I haven't succeeded yet. It is day 17 of the kingdom. More than likely, I can't be sure. When the kingdom first opens, that very first day, monsters and hell fortresses up through level 7 are available. And then every day after that, the next level becomes available. So on day 2, level 8s showed up. On day 3, level 9, so on and so forth, up until the 14th day, we got the level 20s. And then the 15th day, we didn't get anything. And then the 16th day, we got the level 21s. So we didn't see the level 22s on day 17. They might show up on day 18. And if they do, I would like to be able to kill them because, as I explained in my hunter tactic video, that's the next level of rewards. We would get even more points if we can kill those. I can't do it on my own. This shows that rather conclusively. In general, it's considered 75% is basically considered the point where you can say, okay, let's try the next level. I'm not there yet. So I'm going to need help. But it's very important to get the right kind of help. Take a moment to note here that I had 9,000 wounded. And granted, that's not total. That's not the actual what I actually had to heal, but still. Supposedly the battle wounded 9,000. Now, this isn't exactly a direct comparison. I've done a pretty good job of, convincing people to send just one. And so this, I had to go back a day or so, a couple of days to find this report against a level 20. So I will go ahead and the fortress before that one, nobody sent anything extra. Level 20, I just barely made it. This was before I'd made a bunch of improvements. And you can see I had 12,700 wounded. The next rally, I got distracted. And I didn't notice that somebody had slipped in a large number of troops. And my wounded jumped by 7,000. It is now 19,000. And one of the major reasons for that, if you come here, is because I had T8s and I used cavalry. They had T4s as their highest and also T3s. So that's a level, 4 to 5 level difference. He also used a bunch of different types. And so all of these contributed to being less effective. Now, to give you a better understanding of at least how the different troop types work, I'm going to switch to my main castle, Paksen, in K85. She has T11s. She's a C35 castle, so she has T11s, which are the second strongest. T12s are the strongest. And also in that alliance, I have other castles, and so I was able to do comparisons with T10s, T9s, and T5s. So let me switch to her. This is Paksen. You can see with a nice pretty C35 and 74 Lord level, and compared to what we currently have in our king in K179, an ungodly amount of might. But she's actually small potatoes. Check out a C40 sometimes. They're scary. Anyway, but onward to what we're doing here, which is looking at Hell Fortress reports. So, as I said, Paksen has T11s. This first report, Jovi has T10s, so one level below. For this rally, she sent cavalry. We got 85% and not a whole lot of wounded. Didn't really do much to the wounded. Let's go to the next one. If she used infantry, still not a lot of wounded, less of them for me. It did decrease our kills a little bit, only 84%. This is ranged. Big drop in the kills, but still pretty low in the wounded. Just a little, but fewer wounded, but not a big difference. In this one, she sent just one single unit, and bit more wounded for me, 63%. So, having her send full infantry was actually pretty good. Between we got a higher kill rate, higher number of kills for just a little more wounded. So here at least, Jovi would actually when she joins one of my rallies, it is best for her to send infantry instead of something else. And I do mean full infantry. That was her full march with heroes. Now, Paksen Tiny 1 has T9s. And she's actually, out of the castles I have that have T9s, she was the weakest. And since I didn't have anybody I could use for this with T8s or T7s or whatever, this was lowest I could go. Now, obviously, two troop levels difference between what she had and what Paksen has. Much lower percentage, only 74%, a bit more wounded. This is with the cavalry. So cavalry wasn't a good thing to send. Even more with the infantry. So it, the percentage dropped even more, and I had more wounded. So infantry isn't a good thing to send. Ranged. Now, as you can see, while the percentage dropped with the ranged, so did the amount of wounded. And in a lot of ways, that's really what you're looking for, is the least amount of wounded, because you don't want to be spending all the resources that would be better used for upgrading buildings, training more troops, etc. So, Now, if she sends just one troop, you'll see my wounded did go up a bit, and the percentage dropped. So, if you are 2 troop levels below the person starting the rally, then you should send full ranged. And if you don't know what I mean, well, and I did cover troop formations in another video, so you can look at that to see how to set up troop formations so you can do that quickly and easily. So, all right, now let's check out with T5s. Now, as I said, T11s, I've covered T10s, who should send full infantry probably. T9s, who should probably send full ranged. I didn't have any T8s, so I can't show you what happens with that. But we're going to assume that it's the same thing. That once you get more than 2 levels lower, this is going to be the result. As you can see, this was the cavalry, and 30,000 wounded for me. Very bad. Do not send a full march of cavalry if you're more than 2 levels below. So like right now, Paksen 2 has T8s. If you have T5s or lower, don't send full. Don't send a full march of cavalry. Infantry was even worse for both of us. You can see her wounded skyrocketed as well. It doesn't look like it really changed the percentage much. And her ranged. Now, her range did awesome in a way. My wounded was extremely minimal compared to the other fortresses with her, but it was still 63%. And what's even more interesting is if you go to that one where Paksen was soloing, where I didn't have any help, that was also 63%. So basically, if you are more than 2 levels below the person who starts the rally, you should just send 1 soldier, preferably ranged. I don't know. I didn't have enough stamina to test that specifically, but 1 soldier really shouldn't matter very much. Just don't use catapults, because catapults are very slow. They slow the march down. It's just not pretty. Don't send catapults. So let's go ahead and see if I have... Yes, I do have enough stamina. So I need to change my Lord talents. That's covered in another video. And then let's find a fortress. Now I'm going to have everybody send what they should send. So we should be able to do better than 40, but I haven't done this before, so let's go with a level 41. Now, rally attack, confirm. And I said, I do cavalry. That's my jam. So we'll dispatch that. And then I will switch to another castle. Okay, now we're looking at Jovi's castle. There's the rally. I might have gone too fast. A little rally here in the corner. Or on the side. You can just go right there. I'm going to actually need to check. Well, actually, I'll leave the Lord towns where they were, because that's where they were when I was running those test rallies earlier. So, you join the fortress. You'll look to see she used cavalry T11s. So, Jovi has T10s. And as we saw, that means that I really want to use infantry. That got the highest percentage of kills for, per wounded. So we'll go with that. And then move on. Let's see the next castle join. Okay, this is Tiny 1. Looks at the rally. Okay, they're using T11s to run their rally. I have T9s, that's 2 below. So I want to join with full ranged. So that's what I do. And then on to the next castle. Here's the micro. Go to the rally. Okay, they're using T11s. I have T5s. That's a huge difference. So I should send just one single soldier and it should be ranged. Okay, now let's go ahead. We'll skip ahead to where I switch back to Paksen and we see how it went. Okay, so back to Paksen. Now, as the person who started the rally, I can dismiss it if I want to. And as I said, anybody can see these. I could message somebody if they sent the wrong thing, and I can also return their troops. As I said, I don't like doing a lot of healing, particularly in the early days of the kingdom. I want all my resources going to upgrading and other things, so I will return troops if you send the wrong thing. Okay, and then if you click up here, where it says Hell Fortress, it will take you to the spot on the map where it is. Oops, somebody actually accidentally joined because I didn't specify I was testing, so I'm going to send them back. And then go back to the map. And that brilliant thing means that I killed it. You can't always be sure because sometimes a new one will pop up right there. But no, it is dead. Let's see what the damage was. 75%, so I could have done a level 42. My kills were, my wounded was very minimal for everybody. And that's how it should look. So keep that in mind when you're joining a rally. Check to see what the leader is using. I cannot swear to what is best to send if the leader uses ranged or infantry. I may do that video another time. I'm not sure how effective it would be because I specialize in cavalry, so my boosts for the other types aren't as good. And so I'm not sure if it would truly be representative, but I might do it anyway just to get an idea. So what the advice I give now applies only to if the leader uses cavalry. You look at the rally. If they use cavalry, you look at the troop type, the troop level. If you are one level below the leader, send as much infantry as you have with infantry heroes. Again, refer to the troop formation video for more information on that. If you are 2 levels below, say, as I said, Paksen 2 has T8s. If you have T6s, send those. Send the ranged. Send ranged T6s. If you have T5 or below, send 1 soldier ranged. And please, whatever you do, do not send catapults. And do not send don't use mixed troops at all, like ranged and infantry. As I show in the troop formation video, you might want to create that for your own use, but when joining a rally, stick with a pure troop type. And preferably don't mix T levels either. If you're 1 level below, if you send T7s and T6s, to a Paksen 2 rally with her T8s, I don't think it would be a big deal, but I couldn't test that, and it would just be much easier if you just stick with same troop size, you know, as I've outlined here. And as I said, you know, that's just the basics. It can get a lot more complicated, and honestly, to the point where it's not as much fun. So we'll just stick with these basics, follow these guidelines, and you won't get booted from my rallies, and you can get the rewards, and hopefully we can kill the level 22s when they're available. So, thank you for watching.